Hello and welcome to our live LUNAR webinar. I'm Kurt Armstrong with MSA.
And I'm Mike Fink from the Fire Store.
Today's presentation, we're going to break up into three separate parts.
Part one will show you three short video clips that show the LUNAR in action.
These videos are designed to give you a general understanding of what the LUNAR device does and how LUNAR keeps your firefighters safe, accounted for, and connected. This is all going to be part of what we call the MSA Connected Firefighter Platform.
And finally, we'll save some time at the end for a short question and answer session.
Thank you for joining us and enjoy the video. Hi, I'm Kurt Armstrong with MSA. We're here at Whitmer Public Safety Group, home of the Fire Store, and we're presenting today the LUNAR webinar in support of our new product launch. In this first video, we want to show you just how the instrument turns on, how the LUNAR device offers two color palettes, the white hot with edge technology, and then you're also going to see a fire and ice color palette. This is a simple 2-button operation. You're going to see how the onboard motion sensor works. And then I also want you to see the user interface when it comes to the FAST technology. That's the firefighter search and rescue capability that LUNAR offers. And then we're going to follow that up with a very simple straight line search with a close-up of the display, so you understand what the FAST technology can do for you during a firefighter search and rescue operation. This is going to give you indications of distance and direction and help speed the firefighter response to find that downed firefighter in a more timely manner. When the LUNAR device is initially powered on, you see the MSA logo come up, and then the next display screen will be the white hot color palette on the thermal imaging camera with the green edge detection. So I also asked Mike now to activate the two buttons. The button on the left is your scroll button, and that allows you to toggle back and forth between fire and ice color palette and the white hot with green edge detection. The button on the right is going to be your select button. Now I'll ask Mike to go ahead and remain motionless so that the onboard motion sensor can go through the 3 stages of pre-alarm and then into full alarm. So we're now in motion alarm. You see that banner at the top of the display. Go ahead and quick double press, and that's going to reset your alarm. Go ahead and activate the firefighter alarm, please. So when the LUNAR device detects a firefighter alarm, you'll see that initially the banner at the top of the display. Mike can select with the right button, and that allows him to either shut down or start a search. If he selects start search, he will then be displayed which firefighter is in alarm, and in this case, it was a manual activation. Now he has the firefighter ranging or FAST technology overlaid with the white hot color palette and edge detection. This is what's going to guide the firefighter to the signal and speed the rescue response. So the outer ring is now illuminated, and that's the firefighter's indication that they're within 90 feet of the firefighter's signal. The lower middle display, that's going to be a percentage. You'll see that that number increases as we again get closer to the downed firefighter signal. We've now reached the middle ring, and that's the indication that we're within 60 feet of that signal. You'll also see that percentage has increased significantly. Now the inner circle is illuminated. That's the 30-foot indication. We're getting a better percentage. We can now see with the white hot color palette and edge detection, we can actually see a silhouette of the downed firefighter. So we can go ahead and get closer. In this second video, we have a firefighter inside of a facility already operating in Ideal H. They're going to be notified of another firefighter in alarm. What the LUNAR device allows us to do is lock on to that alarm activation. We can start a search, and then from that point forward, the LUNAR device helps them make better informed decisions as to which direction to progress throughout the search, and how it's going to cut this response time probably more than half when they're actively searching for a downed firefighter.
So I'm a Ladder 8 firefighter. I've received a notification that we have a firefighter in alarm somewhere in the building. I'm going to use the right button and select that. Here I can see that I have an Engine 12 firefighter that's in trouble, and we're going to start the search for that Engine 12 firefighter. Basically, I got to find where that firefighter is located. So we're going to proceed in our search pattern. I've now reached a junction point where I have to make a decision now that I'm in a hallway, whether I'm going left or right, or where I'm going. Here, pointing at the ceiling, I got a 10% signal rate. I got 1 in front of me, 0 to the left, and 0 behind me. Now, I had noticed earlier that we got a hallway sign with exit signs to tell me there's probably a staircase close by. So I'm going to proceed to the stairwell. We're going to get to the second floor as quickly as we can here. I got about a 25–28% signal rate at the top of the stairwell. We got 12% going back to the third floor. We're going to proceed this way. Just opening the door, I got a 55 or 57%, and I got within 90 feet of the firefighter at this point. Looking right, we got 40%. Looking left, we got 58, 60, 62, 65. Proceed into this room. 65. 70%. Okay, here we got what resembles a downed firefighter, 86%. That last, we're going to continue on the right-hand search. Signal strength still going up, 89, 90. There's a downed firefighter, 90%, 92, 93. We got you. Good.
In this third video, we have an exterior search scenario set up so that you begin the search by receiving the signal from outside the facility. So they're going to recognize and lock onto that LUNAR alarm. They're going to have the ability to walk around the exterior of the facility to determine where the ideal point of entry would be. And then once they make entry there, it's going to do its job the same as it did for the interior search. It's going to guide you directionally, give you turn-by-turn directions, and help, again, speed that response to the downed firefighter in need.
Okay, we're a two-man RIT team here. We've received a downed firefighter alarm from a fellow firefighter on the fire ground. We're going to select that, and we're going to start search from the exterior. This firefighter is from Engine 12. So we're going to do a quick perimeter scan of the building, see if we can potentially narrow down or pinpoint where that firefighter may be located. Looking across the front here, we got signal anywhere from 32 to 40%. So it doesn't really give me a definitive answer as to what it may be. So let's take a walk here towards side Delta, and we'll see if we can narrow things down potentially. See if any of our readings change once we get to side Delta. Already we're down to 19%, 15%. Get to the very end and look at the end of the building, side Delta. Division 1, we're down to 1%. Division 2, we're still at 0%. 0% on Division 1, so it's definitely not on the Delta side. So let's go back towards side Alpha here, and we'll walk the side Alpha down. If need be, we'll go down to side Bravo and check that if need be. Right now we're reading about 35%. Again, our numbers here on side Alpha are anywhere from 35 to 45. Now we're at the center corridor. There's 48, 50, 55, 60. Now we're going towards side Bravo, and the numbers are starting to drop off. Definitely not going in the correct way. So with that information, I would be more than willing to say that a firefighter is located somewhere near the center corridor of the building. Quick scan at Division 1 is 50%. Division 2, we're up to 60%. So I'd be willing to bet there are firefighters on Division 2. We're going to go interior of the building and try and get a better idea for the firefighters involved. Okay, Barry, let's head to see what we have here. Find out what we can tell. 50, 65, 70. I'd say we're on side Alpha, Division 2. Let's take the steps. $65 towards the front, 69, 62 to the back. I'd say we're more towards the front. 70, 90. There's a down firefighter. 90%, 92, 93. We got you. Good. We got him. You're out of here, brother.
Okay, everyone. So hopefully those videos give you a basic or general understanding of what the LUNAR device does and how it works. The next segment of our presentation, I'm going to just step you through a few slides and give you a little bit more detailed explanation of the LUNAR with kind of a walk around. And then once we're done with the slideshow here, we're going to just open it up for a live question and answer. So the first thing we recognized when MSA started doing our homework as far as the product development teams are concerned is firefighters are facing a very different world. With the civil unrest and the pandemic and just all the different elements of danger that firefighters are now facing, even the best protocols or plans or procedures in place don't always yield the best results. Things go sideways sometimes despite the best plan in place. So firefighters need to be prepared for a variety of different situations in every day of duty. Here's a couple of key elements that really stuck out at us while we were again doing the homework from a product development standpoint. And the first one was that Mayday calls have increased by 35% during this COVID pandemic. And another one was that 40% of Mayday calls never actually reached the rescue teams due to communication challenges. So that's obviously something we want to try to address with this product. And then 90% of these calls are for emergencies that aren't structural firefighting, which means they're not in a SCBA. So this device can't be integrated into the SCBA because then we would not have some of this same capability available to your firefighters for all these different circumstances they're facing. So what we're going to explain now is the MSA Connected Firefighter Platform. We want to basically show you what we're trying to accomplish with an array of different MSA products that are really all designed to work together to keep your firefighters safe. So hopefully a lot of you are already using the G1 SCBA. That was a very wise choice on your part. But as you know, the G1 SCBA was really designed as a safety oriented platform for future expansion. And with this MSA hub, that device basically gives us the ability to create a wireless gateway, and it opens the access to the cloud for data and for local level incident management and also for remote monitoring. The FireGrid is a cloud-based safety software platform that supports all of the devices tied into the MSA Connected Firefighter Platform. And then what you're going to see tonight is the LUNAR device, which is kind of the keystone of this entire system. And this is a wireless handheld device with TIC edge detection. It also includes search and rescue capability. And this is the device that allows us to establish that constant connectivity to keep your firefighters accounted for and safe again. So here's just an overview of the LUNAR device. So the first thing you're going to notice is there's a protective boot. This device has been designed to be drop tested. It's going to be heat and flame resistant. It's going to be all the different elements of a fire environment. This device obviously is going to be designed for. You're going to have a nice large 3.5 screen display. And then the LUNAR device offers a very simple 2-button operation. The button on the left is going to be your scroll button. That's going to be how you change the information displayed on the screen. And then the button on the right is going to be how you actually enter or select a different mode. At the bottom, you're going to notice we have a nice and simple, easy to use point of attachment. And then on the right side, that right image, you're going to see that flat surface at the top. That's where the directional antenna is located. So that is where the signal comes from for the LUNAR to LUNAR network. That's the system that allows us to maintain that constant connectivity. There's the germanium lens located just below, and that's where the thermal image is going to be picked up. And then the battery is integrated into the handle of the LUNAR device. And then just below the battery, you're going to notice there's an embedded RFID chip, and that's basically there for asset management and just general maintenance. So here's a close-up of the LUNAR screen. You'll see first the LTE connectivity indicator. Every LUNAR device is going to come standard with that LTE connectivity. You're also going to notice that LUNAR functionality check. That's basically just like your G1 SCBA. When the device initially turns on, it's going to do a function check of all systems and make sure everything is fully functional and ready to go. Every LUNAR device can be personalized according to either a crew. You can narrow this down to a seat assignment, a truck assignment, or you can assign this to an individual firefighter if you wish. That can be fully customized. Every LUNAR device is going to also give you the Bluetooth connectivity, and the icon is there in the upper right to show whether or not you're maintaining that point of connection. And then there is also an onboard battery indication, not so different than your cell phone or any other device. The white box that's located directly in the center of this display is where we're reading temperature. And then the actual temperature for what you're putting that white box on is located in the lower right. So that's going to be the temperature of whatever it is you're aiming that target box on currently in your field of view. Here's a little more information related to the FAST technology. This is the firefighter search and rescue capability that the system has. So every LUNAR device has, again, that LUNAR to LUNAR network. And that network is separate or independent of the cell connection or the LTE connection. We also, of course, have the edge detection, which gives your firefighters better overall image recognition for whatever it is that's currently in their field of view. And then with the onboard motion sensor, and again, that level of connectivity, this is what allows us to keep total accountability of all of your firefighters and recognize when one of your firefighters is either not moving or has activated a manual alarm. So with that Bluetooth connection, we can take the G1 SCBA and pair it to the LUNAR device. This allows us to gather all of the SCBA information currently available to anyone wearing a breathing apparatus, and we can actually send that information out to a local level incident commander For monitoring, we can also fire this directly into the cloud and make this accessible from anywhere on the planet. There's an SCBA banner that indicates you're connected. And then the background for your SCBA data corresponds to your cylinder pressure, just like your SCBA buddy lights and your control module screen. So when you're above 50%, that color is going to be green. As you breathe the system down, that background is going to change to yellow. And then of course, once you reach your low air alarm set point, that background is going to become red. And you do see that SCBA banner notification at the top of the display. The SCBA battery status is also going to be shown at the bottom of this bottom lower left of your display. And it also does have the ability to notify your firefighters when the SCBA connection is lost. So the Lunar to Lunar network is a real-time notification. As soon as your firefighters arrive on scene with Lunar devices activated, they're constantly communicating and maintaining connectivity with every other Lunar device in the network. The FireGrid Monitor is the system that allows us to do the local level monitoring, or your incident commander on scene. And then FireGrid Remote is that cloud-based operation for sending this information directly up into the cloud, and again, making this available from anywhere in the world as long as they have that internet connectivity. There are 3 different types of alarm notifications as far as the onboard motion sensor is concerned. Very similar to your past device, this has a manual activation, a motion activation for your alarm, basically indicating that your firefighters are not moving. And then if the device is damaged and it's not fully functional, it does have the ability to notify you that it's been damaged, and it goes into a hardware alarm. So the search and rescue guidance is going to give you both directional feedback and distance feedback. So that Lunar to Lunar network allows us to give you that center point of percentage that gives you left, right, forward, and back, even up or down guidance, and helps guide that initial response to the signal. Once your firefighters reach that 90-foot distance, they're going to see that ring notification, or that outer visual indication illuminate. And that's going to tell your firefighters when they're at 90 feet or 60 feet or 30 feet from that down firefighter's signal. So that's going to give you another layer of indication and hopefully reassure you that you're going in the right direction. So here's a firefighter alarm notification. This is what your firefighter would see on the display. In addition to this pop-up banner, this alarm banner, you're also going to hear an audible alarm coming from the Lunar device. There are 3 firefighters in alarm in this case. And once I start that search, I get a list of all the firefighter signals that are currently in activity. I also see the icon, which represents how this alarm was activated, either a manual alarm, which is that finger that you see in the upper left, or the motion alarm, which is indicated on the other 2 firefighters below. I can now select the firefighter that I want to begin the search on. And now I have that direction indication overlaid on top of my white hot color palette with green edge detection technology. The percentage that you see in the middle is going to be my directional information. My distance indications are the rings that you see just above. So from a directional feedback, as I proceed throughout my search and I take my readings, like you saw Mike doing in the videos, that center percentage as I proceed and get closer is going to continue to increase or decrease, telling me whether or not I want to turn right, turn left, proceed forward, or potentially even go up a flight of stairs as Mike did in the video. For the distance feedback, once your firefighter reaches that 90-foot distance or within 90 feet of that down firefighter signal, they're going to see that outer ring illuminate. As they proceed throughout the search, they're eventually going to reach that 60-foot mark, and then the inner percentage of this search will, of course, also be increasing. The slide was not quite that sophisticated, so I just want to call your attention to the ring. And then, of course, once you reach that 30-foot distance, that indication or that inner ring will illuminate, letting you know that you're now within 30 feet, and now you can go to work with that thermal imaging camera and really find what you're looking for. Once you've found the firefighter, you can end the search. I'll go down and select, and it'll let you know that you have, in fact, ended the search. Here's a quick look at the green edge detection. Again, the purpose of this is to really allow us to recognize different thermal variations in whatever the objects are that you're currently viewing. And then we can simply wrap a green edge around that object. This is going to give your firefighters better situational awareness and really better recognition of the objects in any particular field of view. There is a second color palette available. And in this case, the default color palette is what we call fire and ice. In this color palette, we take the hottest heat signature in your field of view, and we assign a red color value to that. The coolest heat signature in your field of view, we can also assign a blue color value to. So this is a perfect color palette to use once you've knocked down the fire, you're transitioning to mop up, you're looking for fire extension, or you're looking for hot spots. This is going to point you in the right direction and help you find what you're looking for. So from an accountability standpoint, and because you have that lunar to lunar network and the LTE connectivity, we do have the ability to send an evacuation signal to your firefighters. This evacuation signal can be sent to one individual firefighter. It can also be sent to an entire team, or you can choose to send an evacuation signal to all lunar devices in the network. When you send that signal, the firefighter is notified with an audible alarm and the evacuation icon that comes up. When you acknowledge that alarm, you get a banner notifying that you have, in fact, acknowledged that evacuation signal, and then your incident commander would also see that on their end. So we recognize that your firefighters are facing all kinds of different emergency responses. They're not just responding to structural fires when they're wearing an SCBA. So it's an advantage to you to have a device that can also provide this same level of accountability, connectivity, and safety when you're not wearing a breathing apparatus. And so that's really the part of the justification, the reason why we chose to make the LUNAR device separate from and not integrated into the SCBA. In the FireGrid suite of software applications, the FireGrid Monitor, again, is the system that's on your PC, either your tablet PC from an Apple or Android standpoint. That's going to give you that local level monitoring for your incident commanders. The FireGrid Configure app is an app for your smartphone, and again, Apple or Android, and this allows you to customize or configure the settings on the LUNAR device. And then the FireGrid Web is a PC application that allows you to register your LUNAR devices, and that also allows you to do the remote monitoring if you so desire on a PC instead of a tablet. Just a quick wrap up here, why LUNAR? We've all been in the fire service hopefully long enough to recognize what a thermal imaging camera does for us, but this is far more than just a TIC. It does have the ability to give you that enhanced vision when you're in a low light, low visibility environment, when you're caught in the smoke, in the thick of your response, your job. It is going to have the ability to give you that increased overall situational awareness, especially when you factor in that green edge detection and you can better recognize the environment that you're operating in. But as an additional capability, we also have this search and rescue functionality that allows us to first recognize when your firefighters are in alarm, And then the next logical piece of information that we need to provide is, how can I find that? Where are they located, and get me there as quickly as possible? This fast technology will do just that for you. And then finally, the LTE connectivity. Your firefighters, with this connectivity, with the MSA Connected Firefighter Platform, your firefighters are safer, they're connected, and they're always going to be accounted for. So with that, we're going to transition for a moment here from the slideshow. We're going to go back to the live webinar, and then we're going to go ahead and open it up for questions. So as we step through the questions, Samantha is going to actually read the questions for us. She's going to help us step through these. And then if at the end of this, we don't have time enough to answer all of the questions, that just simply means that you're going to have to schedule a live demo with us. So I'll pause there a moment. And Amanda, what's the first question we can answer?
Yeah, so the first question is, what is the refresh rate on the thermal imager, which Matt actually answered. So the refresh rate is at least 16 hertz.
Yeah.
And then another question is, what is the range of the LTE to the receiving system?
Yeah, so this is going to be a half a mile line of sight distance. That's going to be the lunar to lunar connectivity. And then when you have the LTE connectivity, and if you're able to, again, fire this information directly into the cloud, there really is no distance limitation at that point, because you have, again, that cloud-based system.
And
can I just bounce back? One thing I wanted to revisit with the image resolution is, this device is really not intended to replace your tactical large format search and rescue camera. We see this device as really being a firefighter safety and accountability tool, a search and rescue tool. It does have, thermal imaging capabilities. Certainly that's a part of it. But this is really not going to be comparable to, again, a large format tactical camera.
all right. And then how much does it weigh?
So it weighs 1.5 pounds total weight.
And if there are multiple signals for firefighters down, can you choose which one you are looking for in the event you have to dispatch multiple RIT teams?
Yes. So once you start a search, you're going to see a list of all lunar devices that are currently in alarm. And using that left button, or that scroll button, that's going to allow you to toggle down through the list, and then use that right button to select the firefighter that you wish to search for. Once you've locked on to that search, that signal is the only signal you'll be receiving, and you'll progress from there.
And then what battery does it use? Which Matt answered and replied, to expand upon Kurt's response, LUNAR is certified by AT&T for transmission and reception performance on the network. But I don't believe that answers what battery it uses.
So it's a lithium-ion rechargeable battery. Hopefully they answered your question. Feel free to fire another one at us if that's not what you're looking for.
Yeah, that battery will give you 8 hours of run time and has a 3-hour recharge cycle.
And how long will the battery last during operation?
8 hours.
Does it come with a tether for your gear, or is that separate?
So that is available as an accessory. It is sold separately, and there's two different lanyard options. There's one that can tie directly into an SCBA strap, or there's another retractable lanyard very similar to your handheld TIC that you're probably using now, that just allows you the flexibility of tying it into your gear however you wish.
Okay. And do you need to have an MSA SCBA for it to work?
You do need to have a G1 SCBA in order for this Bluetooth connection to work. That's what's going to establish that connectivity and allow us to gather SCBA data and make that available for an incident commander to view.
Okay. And then how long does it stay charged for?
So I'm going to actually ask Matt to respond to that, because that's going to really vary, obviously, in frequency of use. If it's just basically at rest and not currently being used, I've had lunar devices that have just sat and remained fully charged for nearly 3 months. So it really does come down to your overall frequency of use.
So we'll wait for Matt's reply on that. And one other question is, how much does it cost?
So let me just take one moment to introduce Matt Quigley here. He's the lead engineer for the development process. He's responsible for leading this project. So Matt Quigley's chiming in via the chat. So if you see his response, that's where that's coming from. Sorry, what was the question?
How much does it cost?
That question I'll leave for Mike to answer.
So the cost for the MSA LUNAR is under $3,000 per unit.
Awesome.
So when you take the LUNAR spec for spec and you really compare it even to just a simple TIC only, for the price point, considering the additional capability that the LUNAR can offer, I think we have a very compelling selling point here for us.
So is this only for MSA, which we answered, and then LUNAR to LUNAR does not need a G1 on your back, correct?
Yeah, so hopefully you're able to hear the questions as Samantha is reading them, but the question was, does the LUNAR device need an SCBA in order to function? And that is, these LUNAR devices can be completely independent and they still maintain that LUNAR to LUNAR connectivity. They also still have that LTE connectivity as well.
And Matt said, I agree with Kurt's response. The trickle drain on LUNAR when not in use is measured as negligible.
Thank you.
So at this point, I don't see any other questions.
Okay.
We did still need to know how long it stays charged for, but we can definitely follow up with that as well.
Okay. Maybe we have
Please
another one.
repeat the price.
The price is under $3,000 per LUNAR unit. And as Kurt said, you're not just getting a small format handheld thermal imaging camera. You're getting the additional benefits of another motion sensor if you needed that in a non-SCBA operating environment. And you're also getting that fast ranging technology to be able to do firefighter search and rescue.
Is there a fee for the fire grid?
So the Fire Grid local level monitoring and Fire Grid configure app, you can go to the App Store and grab right now on your phone or on your PC. For the Fire Grid remote monitoring, that's the ability to fire this information again into the cloud. There is a subscription fee, which is $3,600 per fire department. And that's an annual subscription. Okay, we're going to give it one more moment here in case there's any additional questions. Okay, don't forget to sign up for that live demo, and thank you for your time once again. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.